All right, so let's dive right in today with a little thought experiment here.
Yeah.
Imagine someone offered you $100 right now, no strings attached, or you could wait a whole year
hmm
and get $1,000. Tough choice, right?
Yeah, I think I know where you're going with this, the instant gratification thing.
Exactly. It's so
All
tempting
right.
to just grab that immediate reward.
Yeah.
But today we're really going to dig into this idea of delayed gratification
Oh.
and how it can be a total game changer when it comes to building wealth.
This is interesting because it's really about more than just money management.
Right.
It's about understanding how our brains work and that constant battle between what we want right now
Yeah,
versus what's best for us in the long run.
absolutely. You know, I've always heard about this famous marshmallow test,
Yeah.
but honestly, I'm a little fuzzy on the details. Could you break that down for us?
Yeah, so back in the 1960s, there was this psychologist named Walter Mischel,
Okay.
and he ran this experiment at Stanford. Basically, they put a bunch of kids in a room, each with a marshmallow sitting right in front of them.
Oh, the temptation.
I know, right? So the deal was they could eat the marshmallow right away, or if they waited 15 minutes, they'd get 2 marshmallows.
Okay, so pretty simple concept.
Yeah, simple but powerful. What they found out about those kids who waited was pretty mind-blowing.
Oh, really? Like in what way? What happened?
It wasn't just about self-control. Those kids who could resist that marshmallow, they ended up having higher SAT scores as teenagers.
Hmm.
They were more likely to graduate college, and they even had healthier BMIs as adults.
Wow. So it really did impact them long term.
And here's the kicker. They were also way more financially stable later in life.
Seriously, all that from resisting a marshmallow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I wish somebody had told me that when I was a kid.
Right.
I mean, talk about a superpower in disguise.
All right.
Let's get practical here. How does this whole patience thing actually play out in real life money decisions?
Okay, so think about this. Let's say you're trying to decide between investing $500 every month or spending that $500 on something fun like the latest gadgets or a weekend getaway.
I'm sensing a lesson on the power of investing coming on, but I'm all ears laid on me.
All right, so over 30 years, assuming a 10% return, that $500 a month could turn into over $1 million.
Whoa, wait, $1 million?
Yeah, $1 million.
Now that's a visual I can get behind. But sometimes I struggle with wrapping my head around compound interest.
Well, imagine it like a snowball rolling downhill, picking up more and more snow along the way.
Okay.
Your earnings start earning their own earnings, and
Mhm.
suddenly you're looking at some serious wealth.
Okay, so basically anyone who's always going for that instant gratification, that buy now mentality, they're missing out on this whole compounding effect.
Exactly. It's like this. Imagine two people both making $50,000 a year.
Okay.
One is diligently putting some money into savings or investments. The other is maxing out credit cards, buying things they don't really need. Fast forward 10 years, the saver might have a down payment on a house or a nice little nest egg steadily growing. The spender, meanwhile, is likely drowning in high-interest debt, just trying to stay afloat.
Ouch. That's a harsh reality check. Really makes you think twice about those treat yourself moments. But I gotta be honest, delaying gratification is hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's like our brains are wired for instant rewards.
Absolutely. Remember that tug of war we talked about? It's like the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that's trying to be responsible and plan for the future,
Yeah.
is constantly battling against your emotional side, which just wants that dopamine rush of instant gratification.
It's like when you see a flash sale online and your rational brain knows you probably don't need another pair of shoes,
Yeah,
but your emotions are like, buy it now.
exactly. And honestly, today's world makes it even harder.
Right.
We're constantly bombarded with messages pushing us towards instant gratification.
It's true.
Fast fashion food delivery apps, the whole treat yourself culture.
It's a never-ending stream of temptation.
It is. It's like we're constantly swimming upstream.
So how do we strengthen that patience muscle? I'm ready for some actionable advice here.
Okay, one simple but super effective trick is the 24-hour rule before you buy anything non-essential.
Okay.
Force yourself to wait a full day.
You know what? I actually tried that 24-hour rule recently.
Yeah.
I almost bought this really cute dress online, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to wait till tomorrow. And the next day, the urge was totally gone. Like, I didn't even remember why I wanted it so badly.
It's amazing how that works, right? It just helps break that cycle.
Yeah.
And you realize you don't need everything you think you do in the moment.
It's so true. I'm really starting to see how this whole patience thing can really add up over time.
All right.
It's not just about resisting that one marshmallow. It's about making those smarter choices day after day, right?
Exactly. It's about building those positive habits that set you up for long-term success.
Yeah.
And speaking of habits, let's talk about automation.
Okay, hit me with it. What's the magic of automation?
So automation is like your secret weapon because instead of relying on willpower alone,
Oh yeah, willpower is not always reliable.
no, it's not. You set up systems that do the heavy lifting for you.
I am all about working smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
So how do we put automation into action when it comes to our finances?
So the key is to set up automatic transfers to your savings or investment accounts.
Okay.
And here's the pro tip. Do it before you even see your paycheck.
Oh, I like that it's like paying yourself first.
Exactly.
You're making your future self a priority before anything else. Kind of like what Jeff Bezos did with Amazon, right?
Yeah.
He was reinvesting all those profits back into the company instead of just pocketing them right away.
That's a great example.
Playing the long game, and look at him now.
It's the same mindset. You're basically saying my future financial well-being is just as important as any other bill I have to pay.
I'm loving these analogies. I'm feeling like a financial ninja over here.
That's great.
So we've got the 24-hour rule to combat those impulse buys. We've got automation to make saving effortless. What other tricks do we have up our sleeve?
Well, another really powerful tool is visualization.
Okay, visualization, that sounds a little woo-woo, but I'm open to it. How do we visualize our way to financial success?
So take some time and really imagine what you want your life to look like in the future, not just financially,
Okay.
but in all areas. Like, do you want to own a home? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to retire early?
Okay.
Picture it vividly, and the more details, the better.
I'm picturing myself on a beach in Bali, sipping a coconut, not stressing about work emails.
All right. I love it. See, it's working.
It's working.
Because when you have that clear vision, those tangible goals, it makes the sacrifices you make today so much more worthwhile.
Yeah.
It's not about denying yourself. It's about investing in that dream life that you want to build.
I'm totally seeing that. So instead of feeling deprived when I say no to that expensive dinner,
Right.
I can remind myself I'm saying yes to a future vacation. It's a total mindset shift.
That's the power of it. And speaking of shifting mindsets, another helpful technique is to track your progress.
Okay.
You know, those kids in the marshmallow test, they had to wait 15 minutes to get their reward. Well, in the real world, those financial rewards, they can take years, even decades to fully materialize.
Yeah, that's where the patience part gets really tough.
Yeah,
It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results.
absolutely. So that's where tracking comes in. It's like checking in on those seeds you planted.
Okay.
You wouldn't just plant them and forget about them. You'd water them, nurture them, and watch them grow.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So how do we water our financial seeds? What does tracking actually look like?
Well, make it a habit to regularly check in on your net worth, maybe once a month, and see how your savings and investments are growing.
Okay.
It's a really concrete reminder that your patience is paying off.
Hmm.
And you might be surprised at how motivating it is to see those numbers climb over time.
This is all starting to click for me now. It's not just about being frugal or denying yourself.
Right.
It's about being intentional with your money
Yeah.
and having that long-term vision.
Exactly. And you know what? It's never too late to start building those good habits. Remember, the research shows that self-control is a learned skill. It's like a muscle. It gets stronger with practice.
That is so relieving to hear because, honestly, I was not exactly the poster child for delayed gratification growing up.
Wow.
But this makes me feel like I can actually rewire my brain and become more financially savvy over time.
Absolutely. You have the power to rewrite your financial script.
Okay, this has been seriously eye-opening, but before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I'm curious, you mentioned some other tactics for boosting our delayed gratification game. What else can we do to level up our finances? Okay, so spill the beans. What are these other ninja-level tactics that can turn us into, like, masters of delayed gratification?
Well, you mentioned budgeting earlier. Have you ever heard of like the envelope system?
The envelopes, that sounds a little old school, but I'm intrigued. How does that work?
It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
Basically, you take your cash and you divide it up into different envelopes,
Okay.
labeled with different spending categories, like groceries, entertainment, transportation. And once that envelope is empty, you're done spending in that category for the month.
Oh, I see. So it's like a visual way to really keep your spending in check. No
Yeah.
more like mindless swiping your card and wondering where all your money went.
Exactly.
I could actually see that being really helpful.
It forces you to make those conscious choices.
Yeah.
And if you're up for like a real challenge,
Okay.
you could try a no-spend challenge.
A no-spend challenge. Okay, that sounds intense. I don't know if I'm ready for that level of hardcore budgeting.
It's not as bad as it sounds. Basically, you pick a period like a week or even a month,
Okay.
and you commit to only spending money on essentials,
Okay.
like housing and groceries. It's like a financial detox.
Okay, maybe I could do like a week. That might be a good way to kind of reset my spending habits
Yeah.
and see where I'm being maybe a little too impulsive.
Yeah.
But let's be real, resisting temptation is hard. Any tips for staying motivated when you're in the middle of like a no-spend challenge?
Yeah, vision boards are a great way to keep your eye on the prize.
Oh, vision boards. I love that idea.
Yeah, so create a collage with images of your dream home, that trip you want to take, even just a picture of like a debt-free life.
Yeah, because then it's like a tangible representation of all those amazing things you're working towards.
Exactly.
It makes that urge to impulse buy a lot less appealing when you have like a picture of your dream vacation staring back at you.
Absolutely. It helps you stay focused on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Remember, delaying gratification isn't about deprivation. It's about making choices that align with your values and your goals.
This has been so eye-opening, circling back to our initial dilemma that $100 now or $1,000 later, I have a feeling we both might have a different answer now.
I think so too. Knowing what we know now about how small choices, those moments of resisting temptation, can really add up to some huge gains over time. I think that $1,000 in a year looks pretty darn good.
I think you're right. It's like we've uncovered the secret code to building wealth patience really is the ultimate superpower. Well, listeners, we've covered a lot of ground today. Everything from the Marshmallow test to the power of automation and visualization. We hope you're feeling as inspired as we are to really embrace this whole idea of delayed gratification.
Yeah.
It's the key to unlocking long-term success, not just with your finances, but really in all areas of life.
To wrap things up, I want to leave you with a quote from the one and only Warren Buffett.
Oh, yeah?
He once said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient."
I love it. So basically, by mastering delayed gratification, we're positioning ourselves to be on the receiving end of that transfer.
Exactly. It's all about playing the long game and reaping those rewards of patience.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
We challenge each and every one of you listening to pick one area, whether it's saving or investing or even your career, and just apply one of these delayed gratification techniques this week.
Yeah, start small, but make it meaningful.
And remember, you got this. And as we always say, the best things in life are worth waiting for. So until next time, be curious, stay informed, and keep on learning.
Happy investing in your future selves.